I'm here with a very familiar face here at the Ginola Spurs Legends sign here with Paul COYTE. Obviously, everyone knows Paul COYTE, the Tottenham Hotspur Spurs and now former Spurs announcer at half-time. Not quite.
No,
okay, not quite.
no.
I won't go that far.
Not quite.
Paul. But look, Paul, it's lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you.
Obviously, I want to say thank you for all the time at half-time, like always reassuring us. I don't know how you say positive so often at all half-time. I was going to ask you that.
Very easy. It's very easy. Look, the way I looked at it is the people who always say, look, you know, how can you do it if we're 3-0 down, it's pouring with rain, it's really cold, and it's really simple. All I'd say is, I've been a Spurs fan since I was a little boy, and whenever I get the chance to step out on the pitch and look around me and do this, it doesn't matter what the weather's like, it's a dream. It's an absolute dream. So I loved every minute of it, so always. It's very, very simple. I mean, you'd feel the same way.
Of course, as a fan, you know, in the stands, it's always amazing being in the stadium. But yeah, being able to be on the pitch and talking to legends at half-time as well must be an amazing experience. Like, is anything you're gonna not take away as whatever? But how do you feel about your time like at half-time, like being there?
Well, all the time I've done it. I mean, it's a dream. It was like 16 years ago, and it started off, and it was all by chance that I was asked to go and do some stuff in the lounges. And I was really nervous, and I met some legends then, and it was like boyhood idols. And although I'd interviewed film stars and people of TV and music people for years, as soon as I met someone like Pat Jennings, I was just like jelly-legged. I was standing talking to her, and I was thinking, oh, I'm talking to Pat Jennings, what are we going to do? So anyway, and I thought, I don't think I can handle this, because it was just too much. So all through that day, I was either too chatty or too quiet, and it's like when you meet that girl for the first time and you're thinking, did I say this? Did I do this? What did I say the right thing? So that's how it was for me. And then we did a man of the match thing, and I went up on stage. I can't remember, it was like Mido or someone like that. And then, like you, and I just held the microphone and thought, this feels normal, and it was fine. And then they said, can you come back next week? And it went on from there. So I ended up, funny enough, the first ever halftime interview I ever did, I'm glad you mentioned that, was David Ginola. The very first one. I think I've got my opening story now, because it began, and it was Fulham, and I was asked to do it, and he was one of my great heroes. And I remember walking out on the pitch at White Hart Lane, and as I stepped out, I've told this story so many times, it's so true. I got head rush because I was so overwhelmed, so everything started rushing like that. And as I got to the middle, this is before we had a camera sort of right in our face, sort of like that. It was like from a great distance. So I walked out in the middle of the pitch and I saw myself on the big screen, and then I lost the power to walk, because I'm thinking, I can't put one foot in front of the other. And opposite me is David Ginola going, my friend, like that. And that was it. And that was the first one I ever did. So we're back tonight.
And obviously, since you started doing that from Tottenham, the club has just grown like immensely. You used to do it at the old White Hart Lane for many, many years. Now you're walking out of this like massive £1 billion stadium. Yeah. Like, how does it feel to like see how the club has grown, like pretty much with you as you've grown with that?
Totally. I mean, it's just still, it's really exciting, and the club, as a club, is going in the right direction. I'm like you say, look at us compared to when David was playing for us. He was the bright light with respect to a lot of the, we were around 10th and 11th mark, and the thought of this stadium and what we have is, it's just incredible, and it does make you proud to be a Spurs fan. Just got to get more wins on the board, and the happy times will be back soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, it must be weird for you, like, seeing events unfold in front of you, and then there are players who you're watching play hoping they score, and then they become the legends at half-time that you're now interviewing. Yeah. And that must be a real surreal experience for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way I would get to know them is that I would have done them, spoke to them in lounges afterwards as man of the match, like, for example, RAFA van der Vaart, who I know very well now. First time I ever met him. And it was another one. It's like one of those where you just fall in love with players. He was one of them. And the goal I remember he scored against Arsenal, that penalty, and I still remember to this day, I got him up on stage and said to him, look, be honest with me, when you took that penalty, we're playing Arsenal, we're 2-1 down, what did you really feel? What did you really think? Because you look so calm. And he said, to be honest with you, Paul, I shit my pants. And I've just put my arm around him, and I said, I love you. So anyway, about 10, 11 years later, I said to him, do you remember what you said? And he remembered it. And he's just a great guy. So Rafa's fantastic. So you're right. So over the years, I mean, I've heard Ledley talking in a lounge when he was talking to someone, and he was going, he was up there interviewing me when I was playing. So it just keeps moving round. And Michael Dawson is now an ambassador, which is great to see. So yeah, I love them all. I love them all. And the thing is, although I can call them my friends because they are, I still have that thing where I look at them and think, because it'll always be there.
Amazing, Paul. And looking at Tottenham now, what are you thinking like about this season with Nuno at the helm now? Are you excited for what the season could bring? We got a very good win against Aston Villa in our last game. Obviously, we had a tricky start to the season, but are you excited about what Tottenham could do this season?
I'm always excited. I spoke to Nuno actually 2 days ago, and did a half-hour interview with him for one of our sponsors, AIA. And first time I'd ever met him, and I was so impressed because he's so calm. And loves his football and knows what he's doing. And often when you meet managers, and not necessarily here, and you're thinking, I'm trying to work out what the strategy is, I'm trying to work out how you're going to do this. And I was totally convinced, and I found him enchanting. I thought he was, I found him very special, and I think things are going to be okay with Nuno, I really do.
Well, look, it's been an absolute pleasure seeing you and speaking to you. Thank you for giving us your time. Really, really appreciate it. Real honour for us. It is an honour, honestly. Look, as you've said, like you've grown up seeing people. We've grown up seeing you on the half time since I was a very young boy. I've seen you, so honestly, it's a pleasure.
That makes me feel old. Now that makes me feel old. I was a young boy too when I started. I was.
Anyway, Paul, get behind the team and up the Spurs.
There you go.
There we go.